You ever look at a website and just wonder, how does all of that work? It can seriously feel like magic. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the simple, elegant structure that's hiding underneath it all.
It's a question we've all had, right? You type in an address, hit enter, and this beautiful, interactive page just appears out of thin air. What's actually happening in those few seconds? It seems impossibly complicated, but I promise you the basic idea is way simpler than you think.
In fact, almost all of that so-called magic really just boils down to this one number. 3. That's it. Just 3 fundamental layers that work together to create every single website you've ever used, from the simplest little blog to the biggest, most complex web apps out there.
And that's the key thing to remember here. It's not 100 different technologies you have to master right away. Nope, it's just 3 core pieces, and each one has its own very specific job. Once you get how they work together, the whole web just starts to click.
So this is our blueprint. The easiest way to think about a website is to think of it like a person. The first layer, HTML, is the skeleton. It gives the site its structure. The second layer, CSS, that's the skin and the clothes. It provides all the style. And the third, JavaScript? Well, that's the muscles and the brain. It's what makes the website move and react. Skeleton, style, and brains. Let's break each one down.
Okay, so let's start at the very foundation, with layer 1, the structure, or as we're calling it, the skeleton. Every single web page in existence is built on top of this framework.
And that skeleton is built with something called HTML. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, but what it does is way more important. Its only job is to organize the content and give it structure. It tells the web browser, hey, this chunk of text is a heading, this part here is a paragraph, and right over here, I want you to put a button. It's all about putting the right bones in the right places.
And see, this isn't some scary, complicated code. It's really just plain text wrapped in these little angle bracket things called tags, like H1 for a big heading or P for a paragraph. These tags are what give our content meaning, so the browser knows exactly what to show on the screen.
But here's what you actually get with just HTML. See? All our content is there. We've got the heading, the text, the button. It's functional, sure, but let's be real. It's kind of boring. It has zero personality. It is quite literally just the bare bones of our website. And that is exactly why we need our second layer.
So it's time to give our skeleton some style. Let's add the skin and the clothes with our second layer, CSS. This is where the visual magic really starts to kick in.
CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets, is basically the language of design for the web. It takes that raw, bony HTML structure and tells the browser how everything should look. What color's the background? What font are we using? How much space goes between the heading and the paragraph? You can think of CSS as the website's personal stylist.
And this code acts like a set of styling rules. We're not touching the content at all, just changing how it looks. We're telling the browser, hey, find that main heading, that H1, and make it royal blue. Oh, and find the button and make it coral with rounded corners. We're applying a whole wardrobe directly to our HTML skeleton.
And would you look at the difference? It is the exact same HTML content from before, but now it actually looks like a real web page. The background has some color, the text is styled, that button looks clickable and inviting. This is that big aha moment where structure meets design. But it still doesn't actually do anything when you click it. For that, we need our final layer.
All right, on to layer number 3, the brains and the muscles of the operation, JavaScript. We have a skeleton, and we've dressed it up nicely. Now it's time to make it come alive.
JavaScript, or JS for short, is the programming language that makes websites interactive. I mean, if you've ever clicked a button and seen a menu slide down, or watched a photo gallery change images without the page reloading, you've seen JavaScript in action. It listens for what you, the user, do, and then it makes the page react.
And here's a super simple example of how we add that behavior. This little snippet of code is basically just saying, go find the button on the page and then wait. When someone clicks it, I want you to make a little pop-up alert appear on the screen. We're attaching an action to our existing element.
And there you have it. We click the button and boom, a message pops up. Our page is no longer just a static document you read, it's an interactive experience. It can actually respond to us. And with that, we've built a complete, simple piece of a website using our 3 core layers.
Okay, so we've got our 3 layers: structure, style, and behavior. But how do these files actually get from some developer's laptop onto your screen? Let's connect those last few dots.
It's really just a simple 5-step trip. First, a developer writes the code and puts those HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files on a web server, which is just a fancy name for a computer that's always connected to the internet. Then, when you type a URL into your browser, you're sending a request to that server. The server finds the files, sends them back across the internet to you, and finally, your browser acts like a little construction worker. It reads the instructions in all 3 files and assembles the final visual website you see on your screen.
Now that you understand the what and the how, you might be thinking, okay, that actually makes sense. What's next? How do I get started? So let's lay out a really clear path for you. Your learning roadmap follows the exact same order we just talked about. Start with HTML to build the structure. Then, move on to CSS to make things look good. After that, you can dive into JavaScript to add interactivity. But the most important step here is number 4, build stuff. Even small projects. That's where all this knowledge really starts to stick. After that, you can get into Pro Tools like Git and explore all the more advanced topics.
And the best part? You don't need any expensive software to get started. Here are some incredible tools that are completely free. VS Code is pretty much the standard code editor everyone uses. Chrome DevTools is already built right into your browser and lets you peek under the hood of any website. And sites like CodePen are like online playgrounds where you can just start writing code and see what happens instantly. So there you have it. The big secret of the web isn't really magic after all. It's just 3 layers: structure, style, and behavior, all working together in harmony. The barrier to getting started has never, ever been lower. So now that you know the fundamental building blocks, what are you going to build first?